This is just unreal. Our schools and government failing our children. At least one eye-popping new study is what we're pointing to. It finds that more than 2/3 of states in this country get an F for not getting rid of lead in drinking water at our children's school. And I don't just mean high schools. This is a study that looked at all schools, preschool and up. Environment America Research and Policy Center focused on these 31 states that you're looking at. And only one, Illinois, along with D.C., scored about the C range. Every other state scoring a C and below, 22 states flat out got an F. And now the group is calling on schools and the nation's leaders to get lead out of drinking water in schools and get it out now. Can you believe we're even talking about this? Why is there lead in drinking water at schools? I want to bring in environmental activist Erin Brockovich. Erin, I have to say, as a mother, I just wanted to throw this report at the wall. It's infuriating that we can't protect our kids in schools. What's your reaction?
I'm just as infuriated as you are, and I hope that all parents and all schools that see this report will have the same reaction. I went through it this morning. I'm saddened. I'm horribly frustrated because this isn't a situation that just started yesterday. This has been going on a long time. As if we didn't learn enough from Flint. We're now looking at 22 states, and it's probably beyond 22 states, and in every state where we are failing to make it a priority to look at lead in drinking water and our schools and our children. I'm not sure what it is we're thinking, but it's really gotten to a critical point where we are going to have to respond and react. These kids have been ingesting lead for long periods of time, at what levels we don't know, and their future will look very bleak if we don't immediately step in and start changing policies, working at state levels, local levels, with the schools, with the utilities, on changing those distribution systems, the fittings, the piping, and getting lead out of the water. If anyone thinks that drinking lead, especially over long periods of time, especially with children, is not going to be harmful to their health and welfare, they are absolutely wrong.
And what does that look like? How do we change that? We're talking about water fountains, old pipes, and some states that don't even have requirements to test lead. So we don't even know how bad it is there. What change needs to happen?
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, policies. We have a lead and copper rule that people don't understand that's very, very frustrating. This lead and copper rule states that you only have to test for lead in water once every 4 years. Once every 4 years. So you can bet every 4 years there's probably a lot of lead going around that nobody's catching or reporting. And then when they do find it, they can average the samples. One thing we have to do is step up our oversight. We can't allow for little cheating mechanisms to go on, because they do, or setting standards. We have to change the policies at a local level, to school districts. If you don't have the funding, I suggest you find the funding to change and retrofit the water fountains, the piping. The municipalities are going to have to get busy on how it is they're treating lead in their water. We need to look at filtration systems. And I think one thing that is clearly most important is that the parents begin to speak up. Oftentimes there's this idea, because it's pollution or lead or politics, that we shouldn't say anything because maybe we aren't educated enough in that. That is absolutely not true. This is your child. This is their water. This is your backyard. Organize yourself. Contact the schools. Contact the school boards. Tell them this is enough, and get yourself organized. And you, at a local level and as a parent, can start pushing and demanding for the changes that are necessary. Retrofitting, removing fountains, information, what are the lead levels so you can monitor your children's health, state levels, municipalities, and how they're going to begin to treat and clean up the lead and remove this danger from the schools.
But as you point out, politics are involved here. We know the Trump administration has already started rolling back some of the Obama era EPA regulations. I mean, is this going to force their hand to do something?
We hope that it will force their hand. I think everyone's frustrated when we watched Flint. that it would force a hand. And we're still dealing with issues there. What can force the hand is the people and the parents in numbers pushing back, whether it be at city council, whether it be at school board meetings. I've seen this happen across the United States where the community takes this in their own hands and they effectively work with those agencies and they demand change, and they're actually getting it. Once they're informed, once they're empowered, once they mobilize, they can change what's happening there. I think that we wait for Superman to come, and I'm the bearer of bad news today. He's not coming. And if we have this huge oversight that we think is going to trickle down into our yard and change our schools and the lead in it, we're in for a big surprise. We are going to have to start reacting and responding to these situations. And that is a good step. We do know it's a fixable problem. We've created it, but we've got to stop thinking that it's going to go away or someone's going to come clean it up or save us. They're not. Well, we have to get involved.
If we learned anything from your story, which became a blockbuster hit, if we learned anything from Flint, Michigan, from Hinckley, California, that's not going to happen. And let me tell you, as a parent, I wanted to go take a sample cup and test the water in my son's preschool. I want to send him with a sippy cup of water. I mean, when we talk about what parents can do, what they should do, are you just surprised, and I know you said you are, of that we're still here? Didn't you think your story, your blockbuster movie, would have changed this?
Yes, I am surprised. I've been beating my head against this brick wall for 25 years. And what is it, the definition of insanity?
Is repeating the same thing over again?
Absolutely. That's what we continue to do, and that's what has to stop. And we have to, I see communities, even in Hinckley, way back in the day, they don't speak up or they don't speak out either because they feel suppressed, or they're being told or teased or bullied, you're wrong, don't say anything, someone could lose their job. That's enough of that. Get involved, and you know right from wrong. I mean, this is precisely what I did in Hinckley. Oh, I'm sorry. I think two-headed frogs and green water is a problem. And I think that 22 states in the United States of America, and I'm going to tell you it's probably all 50, have an F. An F is an F. Lead is lead. In our water, in our schools, this is the future of our children. I think not. It's wrong. And I'm asking every parent in every one of these states to rise up and push back at a local level, with the school board, with the municipalities, and start demanding and protesting for change. It's your child, it's your water, and when we do, change happens. Don't wait, and don't wait for Superman. I'm not kidding. He's not coming. It will be up to us to not be complacent, not be fearful, and not just sit and wait. We have to take action.
Erin Brockovich, well said. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.